This week Parashat Tesaveh. You know, all Parashat last week and this week talks about HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Chahal to make the Mishkan. Last week we learned about Mishkan, and this week we're going to learn about Bigdei Kohen Gadol and Bigdei Kohen Ediot. All together, the theme is to bring Shekhinah to Chahal Yisrael. Now, the workshop of this week Parashat is how to adapt Shekhinah in yourself. We want to know, person wants to be a place that Shekhinah should rest. How should we adapt Shekhinah in ourselves? The first thing that we see when they want to build up the Mishkan, there is a machloket between Moshe and Bezalel. Moshe says that they should make the kelim first, vessels first, and then Bezalel says that no, if we make the vessels, where we should we put them? First we have to make the Mishkan and then the kelim. Moshe Rabbeinu, when Bezalel tells him that, Moshe Rabbeinu says, hey, you are right. See, Gadol Hador, says something, and a boy, 13-year-old, says something else. Gadol Hador admits to this 13-year-old boy. And that's acceptance of truth. First point, to establish Shekhinah in yourself, you have to accept the truth. No matter who says the truth. Sometimes the garbage man says the truth. You have to accept it. Sometimes your wife says the truth. Sometimes your mother-in-law says the truth. Sometimes you hear the truth from your child, your children. You have to listen to truth. Then Torah tells us that in building the Mishkan, second point for having Shekhinah rests on the ceiling. Ceiling is called Mishkan. And ceiling had 3 layers. One was from wool, the other one skin of ram, then Techashim. Techashim was on the top, was a colorful skin. Now Rashi, says, what's Techashim? Saskona. Why Techashim is called Saskona? Because Sas means happy, Gona means color. Techashim had the skin, was colorful, he was happy. Sas with payr begavani shelo. He was happy and proud of the color that he had. That's the place of rest of Shekhinah. If you want that Shekhinah should rest in you, you should be happy with yourself. You have to have shalom, sasgona, to be happy and proud of your own color. Not to feel, not you have so much colors, Baruch Hashem, but one color you don't have. All day mourning about the color that he doesn't have. No, be happy with your own blessings, be happy with yourself. Sasgona. Sasgona is the skin that Shekhinah rests. What's the skin? Saskona, to be happy and with payr begavani shelo. Then we find that why did Moshe Rabbeinu said make the kelim first? Because really, if you notice, Torah says make the kelim first. Torah says make the aron, make the shulchan menorah, and make the building then. Right? That was the order that we learned last week. If you have to make the Mishkan first, why did Torah says kelim first? Imagine somebody comes to town, he wants to settle. First, he finds out where is it close to highway, where is it close to my work, my job, and everything. And then he says, oh, I'm a Jew. I need a shul, I need this. Don't worry, there is a shul next to my house. There is a school next to my house. The most important point by him is his business. And he's decorating his life with Torah. After 120 years, he just gets sechar for decoration, not for essential. Somebody comes to town, first he sees things about Torah, avodah. Where should I settle down myself? Sometimes even Los Angeles is not good. People go to Israel to settle down in a much better place. Therefore, somebody who goes there and he makes that essential. After 120 years, he gets reward for every brick, everything, every bread, every small thing that it is, all is Torah. Therefore, now what's Pshat of Mishkan? Mishkan is a place that HaKadosh Baruch Hu presents the Shekhinah, and we decorate the Shekhinah with Aron, Shulchan, Menorah? Or no, that's not the explanation of Mishkan. Mishkan is a place that there is a Aron, there is a Shulchan, there is a Mizbeach, there is a Menorah. It's a place of Avodah. Once we have the place of Avodah, then Shekhinah comes. It makes a big difference. What's the essence of Mishkan? The essence of Mishkan is the Torah and Avodah. Torah first. Once you have Torah and Avodah, Aron, Menorah, Shulchan, you have Torah and Avodah, then Hashem rests His Shekhinah there. Therefore, the essence of Mishkan is not the Shekhinah. The essence of Mishkan is Torah Avodah. The biggest proof is second Bet HaMikdash. Second Bet HaMikdash, we had the Bet HaMikdash, but we didn't have Shekhinah. Therefore, I would say that the third point is, if you want to adapt Shekhinah in yourself, you have to make yourself ish avodah, person of Torah, person of avodah. Once the person makes involved himself in Torah and Avodah, he immerses in Torah Avodah, the Shekhinah rests on him. Then now this week parasha we're going to learn about the begadim. Kohen Gadol, Kohen Etiot, they have to have special garment. Now what's special of the garment? Torah tells us that you have to work on your chitzoniyot. In other words, like Chinuch says, a lot of times when we do something outside, that is going to awaken our inner part. You want to have something, what do? You work on outside. What should the person? You want to love Hashem. Ask yourself, somebody who loves somebody, what does he do for him? Whatever that the person does for somebody who loves, do for Hashem. Little by little, it awakens inside. Now, this begadim also the images of outside the person dresses himself, and that's the ambition that the person has. Therefore, I would say the fourth thing person should write, that the person has to work on his ambition and his goals to have the Shekhinah, to be a right person. Once he dresses himself with that type of garment, then he would become what Hashem wants him to come. Now the parasha starts, V'atot Tesaveh ben Israel, you should command ben Israel, V'yechu elecha shemen zayit, they should take for you shemen zayit, olive oil, zach clear. Cut it, crushed. It has to be crushed, lama'or, for menorah. We have shemen zayit for menorah and for menachot. For menorah is different. It's katit. Le'alon ner tamid. That you should light up ner tamid, a lamp continuously every day. Ohel moed, in the ohel moed, michutz la'parachat, outside of the partitions. Ashal ha'edut, that it is before testimonial tables. You should arrange them. Aharon ubanav. Aharon understands mitzvah of Kohen to do the light from the night till morning, Lifnei Hashem, before Hashem, Hukat Olam, the rule of Olam, the Otam, Me'et Ben Israel, from Bnei Israel. Now, in this parasha, it says Atay, it doesn't say Moshe. Why? Because next week parasha, when the people, when the Israel do the Chet of Egel, Moshe Rabbeinu daven and says, Mecheni na misifrecha. You should raise me from your sefer. No, they say a person should not curse himself. Even if it is with condition, that curse would have impact. Now the impact of that curse is that you see that in the Sik Parasha, we don't have the name of Moshe Rabbeinu. Even though that we don't have the name of Moshe Rabbeinu revealed, but before Hashem say, if you notice how many Pesukim are in Parashat Tesaveh, Parashat Tesaveh has 101 Kuf Aleph Pesukim, Siman Michael. Now, if you write the name of Moshe Rabbeinu, there are three letters, Mem, Shin, Moshe He. Now, Mem, Shin, He we pronounce. But Mem, the other Mem, Shin, Yud, Nun, we don't pronounce. So He, Aleph, we don't pronounce. Those letters from the name that we don't pronounce the name of the letter, if you add them together, it becomes 101. Even though that Moshe Rabbeinu, the Guf, the name is the Guf, the body of Moshe Rabbeinu is not revealed in the parasha, but the inner Torah that gave to Kahal Israel is in the parasha. It's very ironic. The parasha that talk about begadim, the outer level, in the parasha we are missing the outer level of Moshe Rabbeinu, and we have the inner part of Moshe Rabbeinu. And all purpose of the begadim are not just to wear and to show up. Is the begadim, they may be the kedusha, and that kedusha has to penetrate inside of the Kahal Israel. Now, katit means crushed. Now, it's very interesting. Katit is kaf tav, 420, Yutav 410. Crushed means crushed. Therefore, in the word of katit, crushed of olives, it signifies the duration of Beit HaMikdash. The first Beit HaMikdash was 410, that's Yutav. Second Beit HaMikdash was 420, which is Kaftav. Therefore, in the word of crushed, you see Remozim hinted that how many years we had the Beit HaMikdash. Unbelievable point.
How many of the second one?
What?
420. 410 and 420?
To cut it off the 410 and 420. Now, why did he talk about Shemen right in the middle of Mishkan and Kelim? Hashem say, in the Beriah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when did he create sun and moon and stars? Wednesday, in the middle of the week. Now, in the middle of the process of Mishkan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu talks about menorah and having light. Now, what does that tell us? That tells us that the making Mishkan and menorah and kelim is not just a decoration or something. It's the miniature of the world. We're going to talk about it. that the Mishkan and the Begadim are miniature of the word. They bring out the aspect of the word. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that you should put the olive in order to put the menorah in the middle. وَأَتَا حَقْرَ بَلَيْخَا فَسُقَالَ. You should bring close to you Aharon, your brother, Etbanav, his children, Ito with him, Mitoch ben Israel, not Mitoch ben Israel, Lehakanoli. That you should serve as a coin for me. See, the first thing is, if you're going to become minister of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's a Kedusha. What does Kedusha means? Designation. You are designated. You are above other people. You have a dignity for yourself. You can't act and behave like everybody else. They come through. Aharon who? Aharon, Nadab, Abihu, Elazar, Tamar, Bnei Aharon. Aharon, Nadab, Abihu, Elazar, Tamar, the children of Aharon. And you should make B'tei Kodesh the garment of holy garment for Aharon, your brother. Now, who should make it? Moshe. Why? Now, everything he told the Chachmei Lev to make it, but he should make it. At least he has to be in charge of making it. Why? Because these begadim are not physical begadim. There are a lot of kavanah, a lot of intention, a lot of kedusha that should be put in the begadim, that when Aharon and children, they're going to wear it, they're going to absorb the kedusha. They're going to get the kedusha. Then Moshe Rabbeinu had to make it. Now this begadim, we're going to talk about it. It's the begadim, the chavot ulifare, with the intention, with the right kavanah, with the knowing where the wool comes from, what the idea behind it, all of these things brings kedusha. The kavod is all. Now these begadim are for kavod. Kavod means respect, for glory, and tiferet, splendor. Now before she say, why do we need two words here? Kavod and tiferet. It's very interesting that Kohanim, they have two things. One, we have glory. The glory is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it to them. They are children of Aharon, they are Kohen. It's the gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That glorifies them. Good? That is, tiferet is splendor. Splendor is you utilize and you use the kochot, the strength that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to you, the abilities that Hashem gave to you, and you achieve greatness. You make it in yourself. That's called tiferet. That's called splendor. Ihtiram and iftikhar. Ihtiram is something that's been given to you, and you have it. Iftikhar is something you earn it. Kasbش میکنی. As in job, we learn the greatest lesson in chinuch. Once we want to mechanic our children, first we have to give them kavod. We have to bring out that abilities, that potential, that glory that they have. To bring it out, not to just put them down. You are nobody, you are nothing. It becomes nobody. Torah tells us, once you bring out the kavod, the glory, then he works on himself and brings the tiferet splendor. And you should talk to the kol chachmei lev, who are wise of heart. Since when wisdom is in heart? We thought the wisdom is in brain. That's right. Torah says wisdom which is in brain goes to garbage. We don't need those wisdom. Because the wisdom is the real wisdom when you could transfer the wisdom from your brain and brings it to your heart, you capture your heart. If the wisdom stays in the brain, and you cannot capture your heart, you cannot capture your desire, loss, any jealousy, anything that comes, this chokhmah is the chokhmah. Chachmei lev. Therefore, all Mishkan, we need people to be involved in Mishkan, those who are capturing themselves. Because that kedusha, that tara, that the fact that they are chachmei lev, they should inject that idea to the begadim of the Kohen. Hashem that I filled him with ruach hachma, the spirit of wisdom. But also they should make it bigdei Aharon, the garments of Aharon, lekadesho, to sanctify him, lechahanoli, to serve as a Kohen to me. In other words, lechahanoli. When we give a lot of positions to people, the job becomes to serve the position. He becomes high position. Now he wants to maintain his position and becomes dignified and covered and arrogancy and everything. Torah says at the end of the day, what the position is the lead. You have to serve me. All of the position is the tool. It's not the end for yourself. It's the tool that you should serve me. These are the begadim, the garments that you should make. Hoshen, ephod, meir, uchtonet, tashves, misnefet ve'avnet. We're going to talk about each one by itself. But also Birtei Kodesh, they should make Birtei Kodesh le'aharon achicha, for Aaron your brother, ulbanav, and his children, le'chahanoli. That they should serve as a Kohen, again, lead to me. It's very important for the leader, those who are in charge. Don't forget, the position is not just for the sake of the position. It's lead. They have to be mekadesh shem shamayim. Ve'hem yichu et hazahav et hatev dargaman v'tashani v'tashesh. And they should take the zahav, the gold, techel. In other words, from now on, let's know. We're not going to translate all the time. Techel means wool, sky blue wool, argamon purple wool, and tolat hashani is crimson wool, red wool. With hashesh is linen. They were basically in Mishkan we use zahav gold, techelet is the blue wool, argamon is purple wool, tolat hashani is crimson wool or red wool, with hashesh is linen. Everything in Mishkan is made of zahav, wool, and linen. It's very interesting that even though that shatnez is also for us to wear, it's also for us to have wool and linen together. If you buy a suit, you have to check it, whether there is shatnez or not. But in Mishkan, they used it. So we're going to see how come in Mishkan, how come no, they're going to wear, they're begodim. They're begodim of God. Also et ha'efod. They should make the effort. Now we're going to start with the effort. They should make the effort. What's the effort?
Apron.
Zahav, apron. Right. They should make the apron. No, zahav, gold, techeret, blue wool, argamon, purple wool, tolat hashani, red wool, v'shesh linen, mushzar, twisted. What they do, we learn from the Pesukim later on, that they made the sheet of zahav, made the zahav into thread, and one thread of zahav, they put with the techeret, 6 techeret. 6 techeret and one zahav, they twisted together. 6 argamon, purple wool and zahav twisted together. And red wool and zahav, 6 and 1 twisted together. Linen, 6 and 1, zahav, they twisted together, becomes 4, 7. 4, 7 becomes 28. Every line was 28 strings together, and they made everything from out of this 20. If you notice here, there are four threads. Each thread has 6 of itself and 1 zahav. 4, 7 twisted together, and they twist them together is 28. Every thread that they made the garment with has a 28, at least a foot, has 28 strings. Now Chachamim say, why 28? Why should it become 28? If you see Kohelet, in the Kohelet, it says there are 28 et lalet, et lamut, et this and that. And there are 28, there are 20 set times in the world that things happen, the different function of life. Now, this begodim that the Kohanim are wearing is the shlita over all of this et, all of this zemani. That we are not given over to mazalot, we are not given over to the time to control us. Now, Gehal Israel, with wearing this garment of Kedusha, they control over the et and anything that's there. It's very interesting that all of this et are 28. The Farshim say why 28? Because in Hebrew 28 becomes kovach. The real strength in life is that you could rule over the zemani. See that somebody doesn't like rainy day. Rainy day is the day of depression for him. He's losing his power. He's losing his strength. Because on that day he's not at full strength. Or somebody, there is the et of, something happens to him. Somebody made a joke about him. On that day he's down. He cannot move himself, cannot do anything. That day is dead. That is lack of power. The kovach is that the person should tell himself, no matter what happens, I'm an Eved of Hashem. I serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm above all of these things. I'm in the department this department is above all of these things. I don't need all of these things. I don't let these things have impact on me. It's very interesting. Now, we talk about apron. Now, the Torah says, no, you're going to make an apron. Now, the apron is like this. It's like an apron that the person wears. Sarim wear, Rashi says. Now, shte ketefot chovrot yelo, el shte ketsta bechuba. You should make two shoulders for it. These are two shoulders. Two ketefot shoulder straps. Chovrot attached. The yellow should be el shte ketsta bechuba. The two ends and should be attached. V'cheshev avodato. And cheshev means the belt. The belt. Now the apron has a belt. The apron has a belt. The belt is around the. That's the belt. That's the belt of the apron. Cheshev avodato. The belt of the belt which is fitted asher alav, that is k'ma'aseh mimenuyu. It has to be from his workmanship. Mimen from it you should be. In other words, the belt is from the same material that we use for the beged itself. Teched agama v'tazane v'shesh musar. Lokach to shte avnei shoham, and you take two avnei shoham, two stone of shoham. Lokach to shte avnei shoham, two stone of shoham. Upitach to alehem, and you engrave in them Shemot ben Israel, the names of Ben Israel. They will be get two stones and engrave in them in Israel. Shisha mishemotam alei ben echad. 6 names on one stone. Ve'shemot hashisham anutarim, and the 6 remaining names alei ben ashrit on the second even. Ve'toldotam, like their birth. Therefore, in the order of the birth, Rashi is in the order of the birth. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, we write on 1 and 6 here. Very interesting. Rashi says there are kafhe. 25 letters here, 25 letters here. Altogether there are 50. And by the way, we have 50 Sha'arei Chokhmah. Some connection or not, but that's the way that Rashi says, 25 and 25. Therefore, they write on it, Ma'aseh Kharash is the craft of an engraver, even stone, Pituchei, engraving Chotam, signet, Tefatach et Shdei Avanim, you should engrave two Avanim, Al Shemot Ben Israel, on the name of Ben Israel, Musabot Mishbetot Zahav Ta'asotam. And they were encircled, Mishbetot, with the settings of Zahav. That's encircled with the Mishbetot setting of Zahav. That's a setting of Zahav. Mishbetot Zahav Ta'asotam, you're going to make them. V'sam ta'etshti ha'avanim, al kitvot ha'efod, avnei Yisrael ben Israel, nasa ahana shebotam b'fnei Hashem, ashtei kitafav lezikarun. And v'sam ta'etshti ha'avanim, and you're going to put these two avanim. Now these two that they wrote the name of all of the Shavatim, they put these two avanim on the samta htd avanim, these two avanim al kitvot ha'efod, on the shoulders of the ephod, avnei zikaron, the stones of remembrance, livnei Israel, for Bnei Israel, when also Aharon, and Aharon would carry the names livnei Hashem, in front of Hashem, al shtei ketevav, on both shoulders, lezikaron, for remembrance. Now we're going to see what's the aspect of it. It's very interesting. The first garment that we make is the garment of 12 Shabbatim. It's very interesting. We are sending Kohanim to Bet HaMikdash. Now Kohanim, they might think that, Bet HaMikdash belongs to them. That's our house. The Har Israel, they're just guests. Torah says, no, don't forget. If you are here, it's Biskut of Am Israel. Everything in the Har Israel goes with the Zechut of Am Israel. The Kohanim, they cannot forget their Israel, and they say, we have our own business, our own dealing here. Torah says, no, that's not true. There was the Karon, Livnei Israel. I want you to remembrance of the Har Israel all the time should remember. There were ones, now we have a remembrance on the shoulders. Keep it in your mind, we're going to talk about it. Why do we need to be on the shoulder? Then Torah says, the Torah says, you should make 2 settings of gold. These are 2 mishpesot zahav, 2 settings of gold. Now, why do we need that? Ushtei sharshirot zahav tahor, and 2 sharshirot chain, gold, pure gold, mikibalot ta'aseh otam ma'aseh avot. Therefore, we make 2 settings of gold, and we make a chain of gold. This is the chain of gold, 2 settings of the gold, and the chain of the gold. We make it. Now Torah says, how should it be? It should be mikbalot Mikbalot ta'aseh ma'aseh avot. Mikbalot in the age, in other words, at the age. We have to make it at the age, mikbalot, at the age you make them ma'aseh avot, and it's braiding. In other words, this is like a braiding, you make them ma'aseh avot, and you put this chain on the setting that you made. Therefore, this chain, you make it on the setting, and later on, Torah is going to tell us how are we going to use it. We're going to use that to attach it to ephod, and from the ephod, we attach the choshen to the ephod that the choshen should stay. We're going to talk about the choshen, and just remember that we made two settings of gold with the gold chain, that we're going to use it later on, that is going to keep the choshen that goes on the shoulder, and keep the choshen, which is on the wrist of the kohen, and keeps it there.
Choshen is that?
Yeah, we're gonna learn about choshen now. Okay, we're gonna get to it. Then ve'asita. Now, it's very interesting. By ephod it says ve'asu. Everything says ve'asita. By ephod says ve'asu, because every garment is mechaper on a special avera. Ephod is mechaper on avodah zarah. Now, according to Rashi, the Mishkan was built after Chet Egel. So everybody did the sin of avodah zarah. Everybody needed the kapara. Everybody had to have a share in effort to be mechaper on the idea of avodah zarah that they did. Apron is a type of things that you, the garment. Avodah zarah means you get away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Apron is the garment of avdut. You put on the apron of a melech, of a prince, means I'm submitting myself to all of the rules and regulations. Whatever that they did, now this atonement for that is wearing this beged, which associates with the idea that you're going to become a Eved of Hashem from now on. Now we're going to go to the second garment. You should make a breastplate of judgment, Maaseh Choshev, the craft of artisan, the same workshop of the ephod, you should do that. Zahav, we're going to do that. Ravuah kafur. It has to be square, folded. In other words, zered orko, zered orko. Half a amma. In other words, it would be 24 centimeter length, 24 centimeter width. Therefore, what do? We make a cloth like this, right? And we fold it, becomes a square like that, okay? Then, umilet abo miliot even arba turim even tur odem pitta bareket atur ha'echad. Therefore, what do? Then we're gonna make it 4 sets rows of the stones. Milet abo, you shall set bo in that settings of even. In other words, that's the setting. In other words, we make a setting that they should put the even inside. That's umilet abo milut even arba turim. 4 rows of stone, tur, odem, and pitda. In other words, 4 rows of tur, odem, the 3 stones here. Ubareket hatur echad.
3 columns, 4 rows. 3 columns, 4 rows.
No, 4 rows and 3 columns.
These are rows and these columns.
4 rows, 4 rows. Arba turim, you make 4 rows of the stone. Tur, odem, pitda, ubareket. Tur, odem, pita bareket. Odem, pita bareket. Hatur echad 1 row. Hatur asheni, the second row. Nofech sapir v'yahalom, second row. Hatur ashelishi, the third row. Leshem shebo v'achlama. Hatur harevi, and the fourth one, Tarshish, v'shoham v'yashfe, mishvutatim zahav. And they should have the setting of the gold. This is the setting of the gold. It should be in their settings. These stones should be al shemot ben Israel, on the names of ben Israel. 12 al shemotam, 12 on 12 names. Pituchei chodam, engraved inside. Each person on his name. Tiyin al shne asar shevatim, should be for 12 shevatim, tribes of Israel. Vasita al choshen. So these are 12 names for 12 Shevatim of God Israel. Again, you find out that again we are telling Kohen Gadol, you have to put 12 Shevatim on your heart and that's the name of each person. If you have time, we're going to explain that. If you have time at the end of the shur, we're going to explain that each shevet, which color shevet, and why each shevet has that color. به هوانیم تیجه نال شما دانستایش سمستره واسطه al خشن شرشرت گفلود, and you're going to make on the خشن واسطه al خشن شرشرت گفلود a chain at the edge معسه avod, the craft of braiding, zahav or pure gold. واسطه al خشن, and you're going to make on the خشن شته تباعت two rings, two gold rings. واسطه تاشته تباعت در شته قصه خشن. You make two gold rings and you put it on the two sides of the khoshen. That's the ve'asita et khoshen sharshirut gavlut ma'aseh avot. And you should make on the khoshen shtet about to have two gold ring. Ratat shtet about ashrik et khoshen. Ratat shtet about to have, and you're gonna put the shtet about two braids of zav ashrik tabaot on two rings. El ketzot khoshen on ketzot khoshen. On the ketzot, on the sides of the choshen, which is the avotot, and on two ends, shtei avotot, two braids, titan shtei mishpesot. You should put it on the mishpesot. Ratat al kitvot ha'efod, and should do al kitvot ha'efod. El mul panav, in front of him. In other words, that's the way. There are two rings, golden chain comes out, and that would connect the choshen to a foot. That would connect the choshen to a foot. That was the mishpesot that we learned before. We make two settings of gold. Now these strings with the chain goes to the mishpesot that we made on the ephod. They will be going to connect choshen and ephod together. That's the way that's going to come. We're going to connect choshen and ephod together. Very interesting. We have two garments so far, choshen and ephod. We connect them together, and what keeps the choshen is the ephod. Through this setting that we talked about it, and you're going to make two gold rings on the on the two ends of the choshen, but that is on the side of the ephod inside, the other side. You're going to make two tabot zahav, two rings of zahav, and you're going to put on the two shoulders of the ephod from the bottom, mul pana in front of him, leumat mahbarto, toward the place that's attached, mimma al cheshev ephod. From the top of the cheshev of the ephod, you put two rings here, va'irkesu et hachoshen mitabatov el tabat ephod, and you're going to bind the choshen from his rings el tabat ephod to the tabat, to the rings that you made the ephod, pitil techelet, with the petil of techelet, with the string of blue wool. Liyot al cheshev ha'efod, liyot al cheshev, that it should be on the cheshev of ephod, the belt of the ephod, v'lo yizach, and should not move choshem al ephod, that the choshen should not move from the ephod. We also Aharon shemot ben Israel, and Aharon should carry the names of Israel bechoshen hamishpat, with the choshen on his heart, bebo el hakodesh, come to Chodesh, nizgaron lifnei Hashem tamid. He should remember the Lifnei Hashem constantly. The whole idea is that Kohanim, they should know whatever that happens in Mishkan is b'zchut of Kahal Israel. V'nosva Lifnei Hashem tamid, v'notachto el choshen hamishpat, and you're going to put in the choshen hamishpat. Now, what is in the choshen hamishpat? We're going to put in choshen hamishpat, this choshen that we have, what do we put inside? V'notachto el choshen hamishpat, urim v'tumim. That's Shem HaMefurash of Shem Membet, in Annabekobach, is 7:6. 76:42, Shema Membet, we put it. Now why? Because Shem Membet, it conducts the war. All of the things. And Urim Vetumim was something that whenever that they had a question, they would come ask the question, and the leaders of the Shevatim would light up, and they would tell them, go to war, not to go to war. Do this, not to do that. Every question that they had. Now, lighting up through the Shevatim, and answering the question through Shevatim, Torah is telling us which zechut is working, that you are privileged to have such a zechut that you could ask your question and would be answered. Zechut of Kahal Israel. We all to do with the Kahal Israel. Ari betumim v'hayu aleh v'Aaron, should be on the heart of Aaron. Be'bo lifnei Hashem, when it comes to Hashem. V'nosu Aaron et mishpat ben Israel, and Aaron should carry the mishpat of ben Israel to show them Israel. Libo lifnei Hashem tamid, on his heart lifnei Hashem tamid. Therefore, two garments that we are learning right now, ephod and choshen, both talk about having the names of Kahal Israel and HaKadosh Baruch Hu would remember Kahal Israel, Lui Hashem Tamid. Now, Choshen is mechaber on dinim. Any wrong judgment that the person had, the Choshen, that's why it's called Choshen. Because Choshen comes from the word Choshen Mishpat. That's why it's called Mishpat, because it's mechaber on the Mishpat. Mishpat means on the judgment, wrong judgment. Every garment was mechaber on a special avera. Ephod was mechaber avodah zarah, and this is mechaber on the wrong judgment that they had regarding to the dinei mamonot. Any financial things that they had did something wrong, that is mechaber.
Mechaber the judges?
Atonement. No,
the judges or
judgment. Every wrong judgment that they had is mechaber.
People had
People had wrong judgment that they had told each other is mechaber. Every wrong judgment that they had told each other is mechaber. No. It's very interesting that when we're saying that we have the Shevatim, very interesting that we have the Shevatim, very interesting that we have the Shevatim on the shoulder, 2 shoulders, and we have the Shevatim on the heart. See, before Shem they say that,
right.
Before Shem say that, Kahal Israel, we had in Mishkan, we had 2 cherubim. But in Bet HaMikdash, we had 4 cherubim. In Mishkan, we had 2 cherubim that was on we had 2 cherubim that the cherubim were on the Aron. See, 2 cherubim on the Aron. In the Bet HaMikdash, we had 4 cherubim. 2 cherubim on the Aron and 2 on the floor. Comes up,
Huge.
over them, huge. Comes up over them. Now, Hashem said, what's Pshat? Pshat is that by the Midbar, the cherubim came from Aaron. Because the Hanhaga was Hanhaga of Nisi. Everything was through Torah, Avodah. Right? They were all of the Kahal became Shevet Levi and Shevet Kohen. They didn't do anything. But when they go to the Bet HaMikdash, we need 2 Aaron, 2 cherubim to be on the floor. Because here we have to work, we have to do agriculture, we have to do things. We have to create things, make things, industry, whatever that we have to do. The foot was on the floor, that associates with the idea of working, but therefore the Kahal Israel are 2 segments. We have 2 shoulders in the Kahal Israel. One right, one left. What does it make difference? That they carry the burden of Kahal Israel. We have 6 names here, 6 names there, means that the division of the Kahal Israel in 2 shoulders. One, some people, Kohanim and Levim, or some Sadiqim of Kahal Israel, they carry the Torah and Avodah, Shevet Yisachar, Torah, Avodah, and the other people, what they do, they come and they serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They have a job, they do Kiddush Hashem, but that's the anyan of Cherubim. 2 Cherubim stems from the Aron, that's Kohanim and Levim, 2 Cherubim on the floor, and comes up, both are in Kodesh HaKodashim. Therefore, that's 2 shoulders, to carry the burden of Kahal Israel. But nevertheless, unbelievable point. Torah says that HaKadosh Kohen Gadol, that's not enough. You have to put every single shevet on your heart. Because you have to understand each one has its own chashivut. Each one has its own importance. You can't say that this one is unimportant, let's omit one shevet. No, every member of Kahal Israel has its own importance. And that's, by the way, the greatest point in chinuch and education of children. You cannot neglect one child to tell him that, the other children have a much better potential and this one doesn't have, therefore stays behind. And that's the general problem in chinuch and education, that this child feels neglected and, he doesn't feel any chashivut on its own. Therefore, Torah is telling us to put 2 shoulders. That's true. We have 2 shoulders, 2 different missions for Kahal Israel. But what should you do? You should put the names of Kahal Israel on your heart, every single one of them. Each one of them have to have its own chashivut of atzmi. It can't be a chashivut of, generic chashivut. Each one is chashuv for itself in its own level. And you have to appreciate that and acknowledge that and understand that. Now, we're going to go to now we're going to go to the Me'il. Me'il was the robe of the ephod, Kelil Techelet, entirely blue wool. In other words, in this one, we just used the blue wool, and the opening of the head was inside, folded inside, Safa Yele Pir Saviv, and there is the border should be for the opening around Maase Oreg, it should be craft of weaver, Kefi Takhra, Yelo, Luigara. It has to be like a coat of a male. In other words, it has to be folded inside. That shouldn't be torn. Because if you are not, in other words, when you make a foot, when you when you make a foot, when we make a robe,
همینه.
وقتی من میرم شما هم نخورید.
همه شکل سیسیت بوده نه؟ سیسیت کاتانه که ما میپوشیم الان.
به اسم این 12 شباتیم که نوشته اینا بچه های اون موقع بوده هم که اینا هیچ کنم معروف نیست اینا کی هم؟ این 12 اسمی که شما خوندیم
از سنگا میدونم بود.
این 12 اسمی که رو سنگا خوند.
That's me'il. Me'il kulo techelet, all is blue, via pirosho betocho, the opening was inside, safa hiye, there was a border on the thing, and they whip it, they fold it and they whip it, that should not be torn. Vasta shulav rimone zahav. Now, in the bottom part of it, the part of the me'il, in the bottom part of the me'il, shulav means vasta shulav in the hem, it's hem, rimone techelet. You're going to make rimon pomegranates, rimone techelet. This pomegranate is made of blue wool, argamon pepper wool, betula dashani, and red wool. Al shulab saviv, you make this rimonim, and you put it on the hem around it. Hem around it, on the hem around it. Saviv upa'amone zahav. That is the rimon, and you make a bell of gold, betucham, between them, saviv around. If it comes out on the hem, comes out something like this. On the hem, you put the rimonim and pa'amon. Rimon, pa'amon. So Chachamim tell us that how many you put? You put 36 in front, 36 in the back becomes 72. There were 36 and 36 becomes 72. Altogether there are 72 that we put. Now Chachamim say what's Pshat of 72 we're going to see. What's that? Pa'amon zahav, rimon, pa'amon, a bell, a gold bell, rimon, pomegranate, pa'amon, a gold bell, rimon, pomegranate, ashuri amil, on the hem of the me'il robe, saviv aron, vaya al-haron, resharet, and should be for Aharon to serve, minister, v'rish ma'bolo, and should be heard, it's called, the bell made a sound, bevoy la'godesh kam g'oshe, lifnei Hashem, from Hashem, v'seto, and when it goes up, v'riyamu. Therefore, this male made a sound. Now, what does male is mechaper? Chachamim say that the garment that makes call, makes noise, makes sound, to come and be mechaper on avera that the person does with sound. What avera a person does with sound? What avera a person does with sound? Lashon hara. Therefore, it comes and mechaper lashon hara. Now, what's the idea of this? First of all, we need special garment in Betamich Tash to mechaper on lashon hara. That in itself is enough for us to understand what does lashon hara do, how destructive lashon hara is. The fact that we understand that one special garment just comes out from 8 garments, 8, if you have to designate 8 averot, 8 sins, one of them is lashon hara, and we have a full garment, a robe, full garment just for that. Now, one by one, why is it techelet? Techelet is blue sky. Now HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, somebody who says lashon hara, you should look at the sky. What's happening in the sky? Somebody says lashon hara, we tell him, why do you say lashon hara? So I didn't do anything. I didn't rob a bank. I didn't hit him. I just said some words. You know, what does word do is the wind, it's nothing. Now we tell him, look at the sky, in the galaxy, and you see all of the stars, they have a border. and they have to go according to border that they have. Now, imagine one star decides to invade a little bit, to go out of its own border. Just a little bit, for fun. What's going to happen? What does physics says is going to happen? Everything collapses. Everything collapses. All of the galaxy, all of this. If somebody goes out the border a little bit, now somebody who says Lashon Hara is the invader. He's going out of his orbit. Because see, somebody goes somebody else's house and is told, steals the gold, silver, you say, stop, what are you doing? Somebody who says Lashon Hara is invading the privacy of somebody else. Why are you going to his private things? What do you have to do with the private information that somebody has? This is him. Just like you don't take his gold and silver, you don't take his private information and carry on and revealing to other people. It's the same thing. Now Torah is telling us, a lot of times we say Lashon Hara because we don't understand the consequence of Lashon Hara. We don't understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the privilege that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to Adam is Dibur. Dibur is the pen of Neshama. Just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Neshama for a person, Hashem created Neshama for the creation. Now, where does that Neshama of creation get power from? From our word. Because of that, we have the greatest mitzvot through our Dibur, Tefillah and Torah. With word of Tefillah and Torah, we give power to the word. We keep the word. All of the sky, everything is there through our word of Torah. And if Chas v'Shalom, a person uses a word that's not proper, it's not right. Now, one of the greatest name of Hashem is Shem Ayin Bet. Shem Ayin Bet is carrying the Shem of Ayin Bet. Parushim say, some of the things of Lashon Hara is that they tell Nachash, why are you doing that? He says that, you know, Hana, do you have any Hana from the what? From biting other people? Hana says that somebody says Lashon Hara, he has a Hana. He doesn't have Hana, but he says it. You know, what does it mean that he doesn't have Hana? He says it. Person doesn't understand his own self-chashivut, self-important. That's why person talks and does what? Now, Torah is telling us the name of 72, the pomegranates and berries. Pomegranate, it has to be very interesting that Kimon Zevachim says that this pomegranate is not a ripe pomegranate. It's pomegranate that's not ripe yet. Unripe pomegranates like this shape that you see over here. Now, we know that the Mefarshim in the Midrash says pomegranates have 613 pits inside. Raqatech kerimon. Even empty people in Kahari soil full of mitzvot kerimon. Why are they mitzvot raqatech? Rashi says raqatech kerimon. Rek shebach, they are full of mitzvot like rimon. 613 mitzvot. Therefore, if a person understands, he connects himself with the Shem of Hashem. You can understand that we have a role. You have the 613 mitzvot to do. Understand his own self-dignity, self-chashivut. He doesn't come and say Lashon Hara. A lot of times Lashon Hara is lack of chashivut of a person. Therefore, Meir is mechaper Lashon Hara. Now we're going to go to the next, Ve'asita sis. You should make sis a head plate, zahav tahor, pure gold, upitachta alav, and you should engrave on it Pituchei Chotam, engravement like a signet, Kodesh LaHashem, holy for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's sis, and it's written on that, Kodesh LaHashem is gold plate, head plate, V'samta oto al petil techelet, and you should put on it a petil techelet, a string of techelet, blue wool, V'haya al hamisnafet, el mul pene hamisnafet, and that should be on the misnafet, on the hat that they had, and in front of the hat should be V'haya al metzach Aharon, and should be on the forehead of Aharon. And Aharon should carry the sin of the Kodshim, the sacred offerings. Asher yakdishu ben Israel, the they make it Kodesh. Lechol matanot Kodshim, of the gifts of the Kodesh. V'haya al mitzchot hamid, and should be on his forehead constantly. V'ratzon lahem lifnei Hashem, to bring favor for them in front of Hashem. V'shibasto akitonet, that's sis. Sis is mechaper and metzach on azut panim. Forehead is azut panim. Panim is some stubbornness. Stubbornness that the person has. The sis forehead is mechaper on stubbornness that Kahal Yisrael has.
There is more.
Now we're going to go to v'shibasta utam. Now, so far we finished the begodim of Kohen Gadol. We're going to go to begodim of Kohen Hediot. V'shibasta, Kodesh LaHashem. It says Kodesh LaHashem. It's a holy for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, designated for Hashem. V'shibasta aketonet, and you should make checkered texture. Meaning, see, it's like a houses, checkered.
چرخونه است.
Right. You should make a checkered texture. Haketonet. The tonic, that's called tonic. Shesh linen, ve'asita misnefet, and that's the tonic that they wear on their body. That's the first thing that they wear. Ve'asita misnefet, and then you make the misnefet turban. Shesh linen, in other Kohen Hediot, everything is just linen, white. Ve'avnet, the Kohen Hediot has 4 begodim. He has the ketonet, tashbes, ketonet, and misnefet. The hat and turban, and he has a belt. The avnet, ta'aseh ma'aseh rogem, you make it, the ma'aseh by the craft of embroidery. And Suzanne, amal Suzanne Duzi. When Aaron ta'aseh ketonot, and for the children of Aaron, you used to make ketonot was lahem avnetim, and you make for them belts, umikbaot ta'aseh lahem, and you make hats for them. The kabod ultifaret. It should be for glory and splendor. Vilbashta otam et Aharon oicha, and you should dress, you should cloth with them. Et Aharon, your brother, et banav, his children with him. Umashachta otam, and you should anoint them. Umileta et yadam, and you train them, and you make them holy v'chanoli. It's very interesting that Moshe Rabbeinu had to dress them. Again, we said that these garments are not physical garments. There are a lot of kedusha inside, and it wasn't enough that they should wear it themselves. Moshe Rabbeinu had to dress them. And they should be served as a kohen for me. Now we're going to come and make for them michnesei. We're going to make for them this michnesei, that's called michnesei. And with pants, small pants of linen, they should cover their nakedness. It should be from the waist till the thigh, should be. And it should be on Aaron and his children when they come to El Moed, or when they come to Mizbeach, to serve, to Avon, and they should not carry any sin that they might die. And it's a decree, forever, eternal decree for him and for his generation, after him. In other words, these begodim are very severe. In other words, if they make a mistake or they do avodah without begodim, there's chayyav mitar. Therefore, it's not something just, to feel that, it's something that is not such an important job. It's not fashion style, it's something. Therefore, the idea of the michnesim bad is mechaper on the avera of arayot. Any avera of arayot, this michnesei bad, they were mechaper. Therefore, Kohen Gadol has 8 garments and Kohen Hediot has 4. The Midrash says why Kohen Gadol has 8 garments. It's like Beret Milah. Very interesting. Just like Beret Milah is the 8th day, the garments also are 8.
8 pieces?
What?
8 pieces?
8 pieces, right. The Moshe say that 8 means there are 7 rakia, and on top is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. 8 garments signifies 7 levels of the Shamayim, and on top HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, however that you learn, you understand that these begodim are not very simple begodim that they wear. What's we should have Beret Milah? In other words, why do we do Beret Milah? Why do we do Beret Milah? Why did Hashem make the covenant on the private part of a person? If Hashem make a covenant, the covenant has to be on the forehead, like a cis. Right? Why the covenant that HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes for every human being is made on the private part of a person? Hashem say that if a person wants to relate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be with Hashem, it's not the point that he should have a good head and good philosophy and good money, good wealth, good position. All relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be able to control yourself. And that's the place that control starts from. Person to be able to control himself, control his wrong desires, and that makes the connection. Therefore, Beret Milah means we get a child, a Jewish child, do Beret Milah on him, we tell him you are above all of this Kashmir. You are above lust, you are above all of the wrong desires. You have a dignity for yourself. You don't become a garbage man. You don't become garbage. No, the same way that we do Brit Milah on 8th day, we tell a child, you have to wear a garment above all of the garment of the society, and to have to become above these garments. 8 garments also makes Kohen Gadol to be above the nation. And once Kohen Gadol raises up himself, he's raising up all of the nation with him. All of the idea of these garments are to bring out this idea. Now we're going to talk about Korbanot. Now, therefore, so far we learned the Mishkan, we learned the garment of the Kohen Hediot and Kohen Gadol, whatever that they were, and the main idea that we learn from this garment is to adapt Kedusha, the 4th thing on our workshop. You have to have a special garment to wear. Whether somebody wants to become a doctor, he wears the garment of a doctor. He has to work so hard. He has to do things. He has to spend money. He just doesn't come out to be a doctor. Person wants to become a lawyer. Now, wearing the garment means you have to make that the goal of your life. When you say Micheseibat, the Kedusha has to become like a garment that the person wants to wear and becomes part of you. The beged of a person becomes part of him. It's not something hypocritical. He doesn't want just to show up. No, the whole point of the begadim is that the Kedusha of the beged has to penetrate inside. Once a person makes the goal for himself and he wants it, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu would help him. That's why the Midrash says, Kohen Gadol wears this begadim and is mechaper. Atonement comes. We thought the atonement comes with the great suffering, with climbing mountains, avodah zarah, this and that. Effort you wear? Yes. Do you know what Hashem saying? Once you make that your business, you make that your garment, you really want to wear it like your clothing. You know, clothing a person likes it. Clothing a person's suit, you love to wear it. I can't wait for Shabbat to come to wear the lovely suit that you have. And when it becomes that lovely garment that you want to wear, and you make your business to get it and to prepare it and to go after it, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes it possible for a person to have it. Therefore, that's the shot of all of these garments. Now, that's the thing that you do to them. To sanctify them, to serve as a Kohen for me. All these positions are not for the same. Your president becomes president for the sake of president. That's it. Here it says, no, everything is for me. Now, what should we do? We should bring korban. We should take a cow, 1 cow ben bakar, child bakar, and 2 rams, temimim, should be unblemished. Every korban that a person brings for HaKadosh Baruch Hu should not have blemish. Just like mitzvot that we do. We make tefillin the best tefillin. Sisit, best sisit. Some people, the yarshin, the sisit of their grandfather, and still they are wearing it. It has to be good. You could keep it as somebody resemblance or remembrance. But to wear, you have to wear something nice. That's like you change your suit, you change your sisit. The mitzvot that you do should not be blemished. Belechem, then we bring with bread, matzot, unleavened. Every flour, every bread that we bring in Beit HaMikdash, it's not chametz. V'chalot matzot and loaves of the matzah, belulot b'shemen, mixed with shemen, urukei matzot meshuchim b'shemen, and the wafers of matzot smeared with oil, solet chitim ta'aseh otam, fine flour of wheat, make them. You put them in one basket. You bring them the basket with the cow and 2 rams with Aharon banav taqrib. You bring Aharon and his children in front of Ohel Moed. You wash them in mayim. Rashi says first thing is that you have to go to mikveh. What's the idea of mikveh? What's the point of going to a water and coming out? What is it? So HaKadosh says the world before creation was water. This 40 se'ah, the measurement for the water that we have, this water somehow connects to the water before the creation. Therefore, somebody who is a tameh is a different state. Somebody who becomes converted Jew from one state has to come to another state. Or somebody becomes Baal Teshuvah from one state of Tumah becomes another state, we tell him to go to mikveh. Why? What does mikveh do? What's the magic of mikveh? The magic of mikveh is when it goes inside, Arizal says, the Zohar HaKadosh says, when it goes inside, it becomes like before creation. When he comes out, it's a new body, new person. He leaves all of the tuma inside, and he comes up. Therefore, that's the best way to adapt kedusha in ourselves. It's very good good point. Person goes once in a while, at least, or every Shabbat, for getting the kedusha of Shabbat. Person goes to a mikveh and comes out, and the kavanah is like this. When you go to mikveh, should the mechaben that when you go to mikveh, it's as if you are going to water shel Eden, right? Zohar HaKadosh says mikveh is water shel Eden, because this water connects you to the water of before creation. Therefore, a person is a very angry man. He goes to mikveh and he leaves his anger in the mikveh and he comes out. Somebody has a lot of jealousy. He goes to mikveh, he's mechaber. I leave the jealousy here. I come out new and fresh. Somebody has a lot of wrong desires. He goes. Once I said that, somebody says, Rabbi, whenever that I go to mikveh, I don't know, some water comes to my mouth. all of the germs of other people and all of the taiva and jealousy and everything goes to I'm going to drink everything. I say no, the halacha is just a joke, but the halacha is that the mikveh doesn't become tameh. Mikveh is a source of kedusha. Now, if tameh goes inside, the body should become tameh. The second person would become tameh. No. The mikveh doesn't. Once you immerse yourself in Torah, you never become tameh. Tameh, tuma cannot penetrate inside. You should take all of this garment, and you should make, and you shall cloth the aharon, the tonic with me'il robe, ephod. First we start with the tonic, then me'il ephod, then choshen. And you should greet for him with the belt of the ephod. But sometimes and you put the mislefet on his head. And you put the crown of the kodesh al mislefet, and then you take the shemen hamishcha, the oil of the anointment, and you put on his head. Now, therefore, first goes to mikveh. Then we dress him all of this begodim within the ambition. Once you come fresh, these are your ambitions. May the ambition is ketonet, is mei, is ephod, and misnefet, and nezer hakodesh. Then we get oil of mishcha ve'asachta arusho. You pour on his head, umashachta oto, and you shall anoint him. Now, it's very interesting when banav taqib and the children do it, and you dress them ketonet, v'charta otam avnet, and you put the belt, aharon banav, v'chavash torem mikvaot, and you put the mikvaot, v'torem keuna, and should be keuna leuchad olam, decree forever, umleta et yad aharon, and you should put authority by aharon, v'yad banav, v'ichrafta et parapah. Okay. Therefore, now the idea of the oil, atonement with the oil, that they anoint with the oil, it's an interesting idea that when you want somebody to become kadosh, we learn a lot of ideas of chinuch from Torah. Torah tells us, a lot of times we as a parent, we are accustomed to criticize our children, and we feel it's a constructive criticism. And through that, we want to build them up. But Torah tells us the other way. Torah tells us, bring them up. Make them chashuv, make them important, like over here. You put the oil. See, oil is the symbolic of purity. Oil is symbolic of chashivut, majesty. Those days, only Melech had oil on himself. Oil is the symbolic of you are very special, you are very designated. Now, Torah says, you put this on the Aaron and their children. They should know they are dignified people. They cannot think, they cannot talk, they cannot behave like regular people. You are the family of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are carrying the Mishkan of Hashem. And through Meshicha, through putting the oil on top of their head, we teach them that's your chashivut, that's your importance, that designation. And that's the thing that we have to do. We are children. We have to give them chashivut. We make them how special they are. We teach them the chashivut that they have. Through that they grow and they grow. We wrap it apart, and you bring the cow, lifnei ohel moed, and they put their hand on the head of the par, ושחט את הפר לפני השם. And you shech the par לפני השם, פתח אוהל מועד, entrance of the אוהל מועד, ולקחת מדם הפר, and you take from the blood of the par, ותקח על המזבח, and you put on the horns of the מזבח באצבעך with your finger, ואת כל הדם תשפוך, and all of the blood pour אל יסוד המזבח, on the יסוד of the מזבח on the altar, ולקחת את כל החלב, and you take the fat that covers the innards, with hayoteret al hakaved and diaphragm, al hakaved on the liver, ועל שתי השגריות, and 2 kidneys, with החלב השלם, and the fat on them, ויחטאת המזבח, and you should smoke them on the מזבח, with בשר הפר בתורו, and the meat of the par, the flesh of the cow, and the skin, and pirshot, the waist, תשרוף באש, you should burn them with fire, מחוץ למחנה, outside of the מחנה, חטאתו, this is חטאת. With Ayra Echad, and the one ram take, with some Aharonah, they put the Aharonah their hands on the head of the ram, and you shecht it, and you take the blood, with Zorach Ram Mizbeach, and you shall throw it on the Mizbeach around, with Ayr and the ram, you cut it into pieces, and you wash innards and feet, and you put on the pieces, on the head, and you smoke all of the ram on the mizbeach. Olahu, that's the korban olah laHashem. That's the smell of satisfying ishe korban of Hashem. Therefore, here we are talking about they bring a korban. What's the pshat of a korban? They have to put their hand on this. The first thing is that we are saying that you are becoming the ministers of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. First point, to become minister of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have to shecht your animalistic characteristics. If you cannot shecht it, you don't belong here. Because the leader is jealous. The leader has animalistic characteristics. He's a greedy. He wants just position. He cannot be a leader. Corruption comes about. Therefore, we take this cow, ram, and we say, they put your hand inside and be mechaven. You know, we have to destroy, to demolish, to take out, to uproot all of the animalistic things that you have, to take them out, to shech the cow, and to put the blood on the mizbeach. From now on, you are Mesur Nefesh. Putting the blood on the mizbeach, you are Mesur Nefesh for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And very interesting, those for Kurbanot, those things that we bring, is the haleb, fat, that goes on the kerev inner. Before we said that's a symbolic of the taiva. Fat is a taiva. With hayoteret al hakaved, diaphragm, and klayot. What's klayot? Kidneys. The Hashem said, Torah says kidneys gives you etzah, gives advice what to do. Why? Because what's the job of a kidney? Kidney is a filter.
Separate.
Filter. It filters the blood. Now, every advice is filtering. Somebody's confused. Why is he confused? Because he doesn't have a filter, how to filter the ideas in his mind. He comes to somebody, what does he do? He gets the ideas and filters it. And says, it's here, it's here, it's here. This is more important, this is less important. Now, somebody who does sins, his kidneys are not working well. Why? Because his filter is not working well. Just like kidneys are working in a physical sense, they filter, there's a spiritual kidneys also correspondence to that kidneys that they filter. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the kidneys has to go on the mizbeach, has to be burned. We have to burn it. We have to, the sin comes from that. Therefore, we have to be holy. And that's the message that we give to Kohanim, that you should be holy and do everything in the holy way. You should take the second ram, and Aaron's children, they should put their hand on the ayir. Again, you shech the ayir, and then he says that you shecht it, that's reyach nichubach Hashem. Now, why is it the aroma satisfying in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Whenever that we give up something animalistic for Hashem, that is called reyach nichubach Hashem. Ola, burn everything. Therefore, it's that a person is tempted to say, Elashon hara. There's a lot of temptation. You stop yourself, reyach nichubach Hashem. Person is tempted to eat something. How do I say? You know, very good example. My rabbi says that if you have 4 pieces of cake and you serve 5 people, what's going to happen? In other words, that shows reyach nichubach Hashem. Somebody, is a greedy. He makes a lot of excuses. I didn't have breakfast today. I didn't. I'm very sorry. Take a piece of cake and eat. He just has 1 cake. Somebody else, the good people, nobody would eat the cake, lest 1 person would not get it. That's reyach nichubach Hashem. When a person could give up his own gashmiut, that person had only a piece of cake. The other person who didn't eat, he had reyach mechubach Hashem. That's the scale of life. We have to understand what are we comparing with what? What are we gaining? What are we losing? Person just gains a piece of cake, a piece of taiva, a piece of jealousy, a piece of arrogancy. But what a person loses, reyach mechubach Hashem. Here it says, when they shech the animal, when a person shechs his own animalistic, he's about to get angry. He doesn't get angry, he stops himself. He counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reyach mechubach Hashem. These are the reyach mechubach Hashem that the Kohanim especially should adopt themselves. Now we get the blood and put it on the tenuch ozen, the middle part of the ear of Aharon, and tenuch ozen banav, and the middle part of the ear of his children, right ear, and on the thumb of the hand, right hand, and the big toe of their feet, and you throw the blood on the mizbeach around, and you take from the dam asher mizbeach on the altar, from the oil of the anointment, and you put it on Aharon, and on the beginning, you consecrated him and his garments, his children, his sons, and the garments of his son with him. You take from the fat, and the tail, and the fat that covers the innard, you tear it from of the liver, with the liver, with 2 kilayot, with chelev, ashalein, and the fat that's it, with shugayamin, and the right thigh, ki'el miluyim, that is the ram of miluyim, the training day. The kikar lechem achad, and the kikar, the cake of bread, one, v'chalad lechem, and lechem, shemen lechem, ve'achad, one, v'raqi wafer, one, v'salam asod, Hashem, Hashem, and the sam ta'akar kapi Aharon, and you put it on the palms of the Aharon, val kapi banam, palm of the children, ve'nafta otam turfal Hashem, and you move them from Hashem, v'laqachta otam miyadam, and take from them, ve'tatu ha-mizbecha, and you should smoke them on the mizbeach, al ha'olah, ve'yach nu'bach lev Hashem, mishehu Hashem, that's the offering of the fire for Hashem. And you should take the breast me'el ha'miluim, from the ram of the miluim, asher Aharon, ve'henafta otam turfal lev Hashem, and you should wave them from Hashem, and should be a portion for you. And you should sanctify the breast of the waving with shoghat terumah, and the thigh of the raised up, asher hunaf was moved, was waved, Vashuram was raised up, Meir HaMiluim from the ram of Miluim, Ma'ashel Aharon, from Aharon Parashat, Vayale Aharon Banav, Lecho Golam, should be a rule forever, Meir Ben Israel, Ki Trumahi, because raised up portion, Utruma Yeh Meir Ben Israel, and that should be gift from Israel, Mitzvich Hashem Lehem, from the all of the sliders of the Shlamim, Trumatam La Hashem, they give Truma to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. With the HaKadosh Shel Aharon, and the garment of the holy garment that's Aharon, Yu Lebanav Acharav, with Banav after him, lemoshcha bahem, to distinction for distinction through them, ulmale yadam, and to put authority through them, et yadam, their hands, shivat yom yilbasham. In other words, the day of training there are 7 days. 7 days yilbasham they wear them, kohen achtakta, kohen anderi mibana from his children, ashiyah Elohim adonai lesharet bekodesh, to serve bekodesh, with el hamiluim tikach, and the ram of the miluim to take it and cook the flesh in Makom Kadosh, where he placed, Aharon Banav, they should eat it, the Bisar Ha'ayil, the flesh of the lechem, and the bread in the basket, in front of the Ohel Moed, unbelievable point. They're gonna eat them, that the atonement comes through them. Kohanim, they eat Gashmiut, the basar of the Korban, and through that they get kapara. Lemale Dadam, put authority in their hands, the Kadesh Otam, to sanctify them, and so strangers should not eat them because it's Kodesh, and if it remains left over from the meat of the Miluim and from the bread till Boker, we should burn the remaining with fire, should not be eaten, because this is Kodesh. Now, every korban, there is a time limit to eat it. Why? Because korban is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Korban of Hashem has to be eaten fresh. Once it becomes left over and doesn't look good, it's not Kavod of Hashem. It has to be burned. Kohanim. V'asit ale Aharon v'anav, and you make for Aharon v'anav kacha like this. Whatever that you commanded you, Shiva Adam Tevenizis, Temali Yadam, you shall put authority in their hands. You know, 7 days of training. Upar Chatat Asel Yom, and a bowl of Chatat offering you do Layom, Al Hakipurim, Al Hakipurim, and atonement. Bechitet al Mizbeach, and you should sprinkle on the Mizbeach. Bechaper Chalav, you atonement on it. Umashach Ta'oto Lekadesho, and you shall anoint that to make it sanctified. Shivat Doim Techaper al Mizbeach. 7 days should be Kapar al Mizbeach. Bechidash Ta'oto, you can hold that. V'haya Mizbeach Kodesh Chodashim. V'haya Mizbeach Yirdash. Whoever touches dash would be sanctified. Therefore, here, when we take the Kohanim, we took the middle part of the ears and the...
What is the middle part of the ear?
Here. The
Can you
middle
show me
part
the-
of the
Can you
ears.
show this
Ear.
side?
The middle part of the ears, and we take the thumb and the toes. Now the Mefarshim say a person has 3 olam. There are 3 olam. One olam of Elyonim. Person is 3 olam. Olam of Elyonim, middle and lower level. Now, somebody does Avodat HaKadosh Baruch Hu, some people becomes, Avodat Hashem becomes one level for them. It's philosophy. They love to learn Torah, mitzvah. But when it comes to hand of doing, they don't do anything. When it comes to lower part, hefker. They do any taiva, any law. Somebody keeps his taiva, but he doesn't learn. Somebody does tzedakah, doesn't do the other things. Now here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling Kohanim, if you want to be my minister, if you want to work for me, you have to work on 3 of them totally together. Now, the ears is the olam of Elyonim, then hand is the middle, and foot is the lower part. You have to make totality of you has to be Kaddish. You can't just get, you say that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you make a treatment with Hashem, all of the things I do except this part, I don't do, this part I don't do. Or people, they have a tendency. Somebody likes philosophy, enjoys Torah. But when it comes to some comes to action to do his hand, he doesn't do it. Or his foot, the lower part means the taiva and desire and everything. He does whatever that he wants. He makes himself hefker. Therefore, Torah is saying that the Kohanim, if you want to be Eved Hashem, you have to be Eved Hashem completely, totality. Now we're going to learn about Korban Tamid. It's amazing. Korban Tamid doesn't belong here. Where should Korban Tamid be? Korban Tamid is a Korbanot. We're not talking about Korbanot here. What are we talking about here? Building the Mishkan, building the Begadim. Why should we talk about Korban Tamid? Let's see. You understand the question? Now, very interesting point. Korban Tamid should belong to which sefer? Korbanot. Which sefer is Korbanot? In all sefer Vayikra, you don't find Korban Tamid. Talks about all of the Korbanot, but that Korban that we bring every day, it doesn't talk about it. It talks about in Sefer Shemot here, and talks about in Sefer Bamidbar. But in Vayikra, we don't find Tamid. That's amazing. Now, let's figure out why do we need Korban Tamid here, why in the middle of the making the Mishkan. And that's, by the way, the Korban that we learn every day, Korban Tamid we learn every day. Simple. That's the thing that you should do. Ala Mizbeach on the altar. Kebasi beneshana, sheep are 1 year old. Shenayim 2, layom echad, layom 2 for a day. Tamid continually. In other words, you have to do every day. You have to bring 2 sheep. Et hakebes echad. One kebes, that shouldn't say echad. You should say kebes rishon. Why you say kebes echad? The kebes has to be unique. What you bring for HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to be unique. You can't just bring something. Well, we're going to see. Et hakebes echad 1. Kebes ta'aseh baboche you do in the morning. And the second kebes sheep you do in the afternoon. Therefore, every day we have to bring 2 sacrifice, 2 kebes, 2 sheep. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. The Isaron, that is by the way of 2 tefillot, Shachrit and Mincha. The Isaron solid, and Isaron is the measurement, 10th of ephah. Solid flour, fine flour, balul mixed with oil, cut it, crushed, oil crushed, reva hayin. Reva is a quarter of hin is the measurement for the volume. V'nesech revid hayin, and nesech is libation, which means the wine that we pour on the mizbeach, that's called libation. Revid, a quarter of hin, yayin, wine, Like keves haichad for one keves. For every keves that you bring with it flour, and you bring with it,
Oil.
the 1/10 of ephah flour, and then bring revahin of shemen olive oil, and you bring revit 1/4 of a hin wine, like you said. And the second keves ta'aseh ben arba'im, you do in the afternoon time, keminchat haboker, like the offering, like the meal offering of the boker, whatever that meal offering flour that you bring in the boker, v'chinasa and the wine libation, ta'aseh la, you should do for that. That's the satisfying aroma for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rashi says, what's the riyach nichu b'ach Hashem? Rashi says that I said and they did whatever that I said. The greatest satisfaction in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is that Hashem said something and you did it. Therefore, if somebody does an avera for promotion of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is doing something wrong. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the best promotion that you do for HaKadosh Baruch Hu is stop doing avera. Don't do avera. Ola tamid ledorotechem, ola constant, ola ledorotechem for all generation. Petach oel moed, in trans of oel moed, if Hashem, Hashem ba elecha shama, that I will meet with you there. Ledaber elecha sham, that I speak to you. When ati shama in Israel, I will meet there in Israel, benichdash bichvodi, and I will become sanctified with my glory. When you bring that every day, v'chidashti et oel moed, see, v'chidashti et oel moed bet hamizbeach. And I will sanctify the Ohel Moed and the altar with Aharon and his children. Akadesh, I will sanctify, we shall sanctify, lechahenli, that they should serve as a kohen for me. V'shochanti b'toch ben Israel. And I will dwell, I will rest my presence among ben Israel. V'ayeti lahem lelohim. And I will be God for them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu rests in Shekhinah. Somebody who has Shekhinah, he has everything. Somebody has everything, doesn't have Shekhinah, he got nothing. V'shochanti b'toch ben Israel. V'yadu ki ani Hashem. That they should know I'm Hashem, your master, that I took you out from Mitzrayim, l'shochni betocham. I took you out of Mitzrayim, why? To dwell among you. Ani Hashem Elokechem. I'm the God of your... Shimon Raphael here says, the difference between Christianity and Jewish religion is one thing. What's that? Christianity says that we tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem, we cannot join you. Right? We cannot come to you. We cannot be double to you. We are so, low that we cannot. Therefore, what should we do?
You come down.
What should we do? What should we do? What should we do?
You come to us.
You become human.
Yes, you become a human. We become a human, and we connect together. That's why they go to the priest. And they do confess that they did averot, and they continue doing averot. Because they say that we are human beings, we do averot. And it's not the point of teshuvah by us. But Kahal Israel, they hold no. We lift up ourselves, we make ourselves at home with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We elevate ourselves from all of the gashmiut, that Hashem should be shochen betocham. That's the way that we do it. That's the only difference. That's everything is not shit of this. We have to elevate ourselves. We have to see ourselves as self-dignity. We have to know all Torah and Avodah is that the person should be rest place for Shekhinah. And rest place for Shachanti b'toch Israel is that you should elevate yourself. In other words, if you find $100 in garbage, you put your hand in the soil, in garbage, to put up 100. Depends on your dignity. If a person has a dignity, he doesn't think about it. It's garbage. What do I need 100 for? I'm much above these things. Somebody else feels part of it. He says, no, what is it? $100 is worth it. It's a dignity. Torah is giving dignity to Kahal Israel, saying that you are with me. Elevate yourself from all of this Kashmir. Now, why do we learn Korban Tamid in Mishkan? Because all of the purpose of the Mishkan is what? To have Shekhinah. Now HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying that's like to have the Shekhinah. We need the menorah, we need the shulchan, we need the altar, we need the korbanot. Korbanot is part of the building of the Mishkan. Just like we have to spend money to build the shul, we have to learn in the shul. Learning in the shul is part of the bringing Shekhinah in the shul. Bringing Korban Tamid in Mishkan is part of integral building of the Mishkan. It's not just every other korban. If somebody does a chet, he has to bring chatat. That talks about the sefer vayikra. Sefer vayikra talks about the korban that the person has to bring occasionally. The person wants to bring todah. But tamid that we bring every day, this is part of the building of the Mishkan. If you want to have the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have to bring tamid every day. Now, what's tamid? We bring 4 things for tamid. First, we keves, sheep. Sheep is animal. Every day we have to share our animalistic characteristics. We have to struggle. We have to challenge. If somebody says, I killed my jealousy, I don't have jealousy anymore. This is shaker. Till the end of one's life, a person has to do, like Hamid, he has to understand every day, morning a little bit, afternoon a bit, constantly. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, by the way, you can't just give a big donation or learn a big piece of Torah and go home. No, doesn't work like that. We need every day. We need constantly. Every day has its own avodah. Tamid is morning, afternoon, constant. In other words, the Mepharshim say, this could happen in 1 second. But that's a big job. But doing something for constancy, that's a much bigger job. Therefore, the best thing is to do, the first thing is you have to share your characteristics, animalistic things that the person has, to identify them and share them. Now if the person says, okay, I don't do anything wrong, therefore I'm the best, everything's good. They say, no, back to solid. What's solid?
Art.
What's art? Plant. What does plant do? Grows. It's not enough to share plants. It's not enough just to share animalistic characteristics. You have to grow in Habitat HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why we bring flower. Flower shows growth. Person says, okay, I grow. Gradually I grow. Today I learn something. Next month I learn something. Masechet here, this and that. Right. On that it says shemen. What does shemen do? Oil. It says on top.
Priority.
On top. What do you have to do? You have to be on top. You can't just do gradually. You have to do whatever that you could. Now imagine a person goes to a community that nobody does anything. He's on top. He does everything good. Everything he does perfect good. Everybody says, I'm safe. On that process that you have to bring wine. What does it mean that you have to bring wine? What's wine? Wine is the essence of the grape. You have to bring out your essence for Hashem. It's not enough. I do a little bit here, a little bit there, this and that. There were the korban with 4 things that we bring. Keves, animalistic characteristics. Then person has to bring flower, has to bring grow. Then a person has to bring shemen to be on top. Then a person is on top, he says, okay, with your community on top, I'm best of everybody, I'm learning, I'm doing this and that. It's not enough. You have to bring wine. Wine is the essence of a person. A person has to bring all of the essences out. In monetary, in essence out. In chokhmah, bina, vadat, is essence out. When he learns Gemara, essence out. In mitzvot, is essence out. That's the way to be Obed Hashem. Now, that's why Kahal Israel is compared to grape. There is a very interesting point by grape. What is it? Like this. Grape, in other words, grape is a very special fruit. Very special. That's why we have a special bracha. We don't have a special bracha for anything, only for grape. Now, if you notice, it's very interesting that the grape tree usually needs, what does it need? It's a frame to hold the tree.
Yes.
Without frame, it doesn't stay. No, why? Why? This tree that has the best fruit needs frame? Because do you know why? Because this tree gives all of its essence to its fruit. And that's why it has the best fruit. You want to have the best fruit in life, you have to give your essence. So you can't be relaxed and do a little bit here, a little bit there. Once, like we learned from Geffen, the soil are compared to Geffen. Just like Geffen tree gives all of its essence that it needs a frame to be hold on, the fruit are like that. Therefore, that's why here wine is that the best fruit. In other words, whenever Hamid also says, whatever that we do for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have to bring out our essence. We can't just, relax, to do a little bit here, a little bit there. It has to be, now we finished about Hamid, everything. Now we have, last thing, we learn about Mizbeach of Ketoret. Now the question is, why Mizbeach Ketoret is not part of the vessels of the Mishkan? Why should HaKadosh Baruch Hu says Mizbeach HaKetoret at the end here? Now, that's the question of the Mefarshim. And the Mefarshim answer, because Mizbeach HaKetoret, this Mizbeach, in other words, we had two Mizbeach in Mishkan. We had two Mizbeach in Mishkan. One Mizbeach that was for animal and and the other Mizbeach was for Ketoret, for instances that they brought. And we learned, like example, Asita Mizbeach to Mizbeach Ketoret, you should make an altar of bringing in smoke Ketoret incense. At Shitim Ta'asoto, from the wood of Shittim, make it Amma or Ko. One Amma should be the length of it, the width of it. It has to be square. And 2 Amma, this 1 meter, height. And the hole should be from it. You can make the hole and connect it. It's one piece. Receive it out of the tower, and you cover it. They make it from the wood, and they cover it with gold. With gold, with Samta. And you cover it with the gold, pure gold. It can go the roof with karotop and the walls around with karotop, the horns, and you make around it a crown of zahab. In the Mishkan we had zer zahab, we had 3 zer. One for Shulchan, one for Aaron, one Mizbeach. Zer means crown. There are 3 crowns. One crown is crown of Torah. The crown of Torah is on the Aaron. One crown is crown of Kehuna, that's Mizbeach. And one crown is crown of Malchut by Shulchan. And there are 3 crowns that authority that Rashi gave. Now one crown comes on top of these crowns. What's that crown that comes on top of these crowns? Shem Tov. Somebody has a good deed. Somebody has a good name. Everybody talks about, how wonderful he is. That's the Shem Tov that comes above all of these 3 crowns. Therefore, this is their Zahab around it. Ushte Tabot Zahab, 2 Tabot of Zahab, 2 rings of gold you make for it.
Yes.
2 Tabot Zahab, 2 rings of Zahab you make for it. 2 rings of Zahab, and beneath, under the crown, Al-Shetei Salotab on 2 corners, Ta'aseh Al-Shetei Salotab, to it on 2 sides, and the rings should be housing the poles to carry it Bahema with them. And you should make poles at Shittim from the wood of Shittim, and cover them gold. And where are we going to put this Mizbeach? This Mizbeach would put and you're going to put it in front of the parochet, partition between Kodesh and Kodashim, that's parochet, in front of the parochet, Ashal Aron Ayadud, the parochet, the partition that's next to the Aron Ayadud, Lifnei HaKaporet, in front of the Kaporet, Ashal Ayadud, that Ayadud, Ashal Ivay Lecha Shama, that I'm going to...
This is the second.
I'm going to...
This is the second Mizbeach.
Right, that's the second Mizbeach. That's the golden altar. Golden altar. This is the golden Mizbeach that would be inside. The other Mizbeach is outside. This is inside. That's the place that they keep it. And Aharon would smoke on it the incense of spices. Every morning, when he prepares the nerod, he should smoke them. And when he candles the nerod, at night, in the afternoon, he should smoke them. Incense constantly, Lifnei Hashem, in front of Hashem, for all generations. You should not bring on it incense foreign, and you see, we have 2 Mizbeach. One Mizbeach that we keep it here in the Mishkan itself. See, in the Mishkan itself, we have the Mizbeach here. That's the Mizbeach that we bring here. And there's another Mizbeach. That Mizbeach is outside. No, the Mizbeach that's outside,
Copper looks the same.
Copper one.
Jofisham looks the same.
No, they don't.
No, it doesn't look the same.
It looks the same, and the
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. We're gonna
size
see.
is far.
No, it doesn't look the same. See, this is.
Mizbeach.
See, that's Mishkan.
Nechoshe.
This is the yard of the Mishkan. with the fence around it, that there's no ceiling, there's a yard, it's a yard. Now this mizbeach that we bring korbanot of cow and all of the korbanot is outside of it's in the yard, outside of the Mishkan with ceilings. That is the Mishkan. This is Mishkan with ceilings, and inside of this Mishkan with ceiling over here we put the korban ketoret. Here is the korban that we bring the cow and meat and everything and flour. Here is just ketoret, just spices. Now, after Torah talks about all of the building of the Mishkan and Bigdei Kohen and everything, then Torah talks about this Mizbeach of Torah. Now we have to understand why. Why this Mizbeach was not said with every other vessels of the Mishkan. V'chiper Aharon HaKanotav, and Aaron should bring atonement on the corner, Achad Bashana, once a year. In other words, only once a year on this Mizbeach we bring blood. Midam Hatat HaKippurim, Achad Bashana, from the blood of the offering, sin offering of the Yom Kippur, atonement, Achad Bashana, once a year, Yechaper Olav Ledorotechem. You should bring atonement on it, Ledorotechem, Kodesh Kodeshim Hul Hashem, that's holy for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, only once a year, Kohen Gadol, right, Kohen Gadol goes inside, but Chatat to sprinkle the blood. Now, therefore, that's Getoret. See, Chachamim say Getoret has two meanings. One meaning of Getoret is Getoret spices. One meaning of Keter, Kater means tie. Tie is called Keter in Aramaic. Aramaic, tie something, tie up together.
Get it.
Now, we're going to learn in the next week Parashat B'ezrat Hashem, Getoret that we bring got 11 Getoret. Now, why 11? One of them doesn't smell good. Levona, that's a Charbona. One of them doesn't smell good. And that we bring as a, now, what does this 11 signifies? This 11 signifies the all Kahal Yisrael as a 10, and the other one that doesn't smell good means the Rosh of Kahal Yisrael. In other words, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us is unity of Am Yisrael. When we tie up together, and we accept even Rasha. Again, his Rasha is not part of the 10, but we don't throw him out. We tell him you have a room. Once he comes part of the 10, he gets a good smell also. But if we throw him out, then he would be lost, Chas v'shalom. It's part of Kahal Yisrael. The person cannot forget about his limb. The person cannot forget about his own family, his own children. Every member of Kahal Yisrael is part of us. Now, the idea is, once we talk about all of the Mishkan, all of the garments, everything, on top of that, you have the Torah. What's the Torah? Tying up Kahal Yisrael together.
Unity.
The unity of Am Yisrael, that brings all of the atonement for all Kahal Yisrael, all of the kapara. The kapara comes through unity. That's why the Mefarshim say that even if you don't have the Mizbeach, in that makom we could bring Ketoret, even without Mishkan. So far, whatever that we learn, we should have the Mishkan, we should have all of the things to bring it. Why? Because it's part of the Mishkan and part of the Kelim and everything. But the Torah, even if we don't have the Mizbeach, that's that makom itself that unifies Am Yisrael together. Therefore, after unbelievable Yesod, after everything was said, Torah is telling us, you want kapara, stick to Kahal Yisrael.
Unity.
Make the unity of Kahal Yisrael. Don't forget those that are going out of the Rechzadat, tie them up, put them back together. That's the Torah that we bring 11 ceremonies together, is the symbolic of Kahal Yisrael, and that's the greatest kapara that the person could have.